Losing a crucial leadership vote, and that forces him to step aside. MPs voted by secret ballot during a virtual caucus meeting. Less than 15 minutes ago, the numbers revealed there are 119 MPs in the CPC caucus, but the chair did not vote. So that's why the math, you might think, well, one is missing. 118 votes were cast, 45 in favor of endorsing the leadership of Mr. O'Toole, but 73 asking to replace him. Let's bring in Duane Bratt, political science professor at Mount Royal University. Duane, a surprise or no?
I don't think so. I don't think it was a surprise at all. We had been talking about the future of Erin O'Toole since election night. And the fact that it came out Monday night and the vote was Wednesday seems really sudden, but only if you had ignored all of the chatter both internally and within the party and other analysts since October.
Did Mr. O'Toole, now in hindsight, although not a lot of time for hindsight here, did Mr. O'Toole hurt the party by not stepping down, realizing that this vote was coming? I mean, he chose to fight back, but would he have done the party?
As soon as I saw the letter, I said, why would he fight this? Because even if he had succeeded today, he would have exceeded with 52, 53%,
right.
Meaning, 40, 45, 48% of his caucus didn't have confidence in the leader. And yet he chose to fight, and he has been defeated and humiliated again.
So
I think anytime you're removed by your own party, it's a humiliation. Not seeing the writing on the wall and leaving on his own terms, I think made it even worse for him. The whole stuff around the trucker convoy, I think, just added to the pressure and showed just what a weak leader he was.
But that report that came out did point the finger at those around him, saying that he was given bad advice, and that was to blame for some of the flip-flops. I mean, who surrounds Mr. O'Toole, and who does he listen to, Duane? Because if you're saying he was kind of tone deaf near the end, there were people propping him up. I mean, the vote was what did I say, 48 people? No, sorry, 45 were in favor of endorsing him.
Yeah, I mean, that's still a small minority. I mean, that's 39% of your caucus. And were they just doing that because they didn't want a situation where the Conservatives toss a leader out after every election defeat? This will be the third election defeat, and in each case, the leader has left. It was one thing for Stephen Harper to go. I mean, he'd been in power for over 9 years. He loses, he retires. Andrew Scheer gets forced out. Now Erin O'Toole is getting forced out. So the reasoning for this is just how divisive and complicated and complex the Conservative Party is in all of the internal factions. Some of it is the consequences of losing an election. But third, and most importantly for O'Toole, is some of his own leadership. What are his principles? What does he stand for? He ran as a moderate in 2017 for the leadership race. Then he ran as a true blue conservative in the 2020 leadership race. Then he tacked to the center during the election campaign. Then he meets with truckers, but then he supports a conversion ban. So if I'm confused about what O'Toole stands for, imagine what a conservative thinks about Erin O'Toole.